having these intentional little guidelines for my day, for my week, to help create this intentional summer where we're not in a hurry and yet everything is accomplished. So, this has been immensely helpful to me in feeling grounded as I approach my own summer season because really I've taken all of the pressure out of it. I've really taken myself out of this place of needing summer to be efficient and instead putting myself in this place to create what I actually want to experience. And if I hadn't gone through this, I'm really, really sure that I wouldn't have come to that quote by Lao Tzu.
Welcome to Breakthrough Mode, the podcast where we intentionally get into the driver's seat of our lives, shift out of monotony and mediocrity, and step on the gas towards becoming the person we were always meant to become.
Hello, and welcome to Wednesday in the Wild on the Breakthrough Mode podcast. I am your host, Megan Bauer. Thank you so much for joining me and pushing play on today's episode. Yesterday, I introduced our new 3-week summer shift series, and we are starting by grounding. And I have already received feedback that this series is needed and timely, and just by naming what it is that we are experiencing is super helpful. And so I love that we are on this journey together and that we are really already at the very beginning creating an intentional summer, and it feels empowering. And that's what intentionality honestly does for you. It means you can look at something, you can look at a situation, you can look at a period of time, you can look at anything and decide what you want it to be, how you want to think about it, how you want to feel about it, what you want to turn it into, how you want to adjust things, um, tweak things, whatever it is. This intentionality empowers you. So I hope that as we go through this series, you take the time to really be intentional so that you can feel empowered. So, Wednesday in the Wild is the opportunity that I have to come to you with how I'm experiencing this thing right now in my life. My girls are 2 weeks away from being out for the summer when this episode publishes, and I feel it. I feel it. Even though I still have 2 weeks of the school year left, when most people around me are starting to get out this week, I still feel this very strongly because I feel unprepared. And my impulse, honestly, is towards efficiency. I want to immediately optimize things. I want to immediately maximize everything and squeeze every little bit out of summer, both like in the sense of having fun and making memories, and in the sense of like getting things done. And so, as I was taking myself through the questions that I posed to you on Monday, which you can go back and listen to that episode if you missed it, I was really drawn to that second question first. I tried to answer them in the order I gave them to you, and I couldn't. For whatever reason, I was like, no, I need to focus on what do I want less of this summer? And I sat with that for a minute. What do I want to experience less of this summer? And the first thing that came up for me was driving and being in the car. My life right now, as it's structured, requires a lot of time in the car. And honestly, that's okay. It's okay for a season. And summer is really an opportunity that I get to embrace not being in the car so much. And until I asked myself what I wanted to experience less of this summer, I didn't know that that was something that I was really wanting. And so that's something that I'm going to intentionally structure things around this summer. Like if I need to go somewhere, which it's fine if I have to go somewhere, and there will be places I have to go, and we'll need groceries and the kids will need to go places and whatever. but to structure it so that I can have full days where I don't have to go anywhere, where I don't have to be in the car, where maybe we walk to the mailbox or maybe we walk to the park or we do things that we don't have to get into the car for on purpose, simply to not have to do that, simply to have less of that this summer. The second thing that I wrote down that I really want less of for the summer is the taskmaster energy. I step into this energy every day at around 4:30, and it is that like we've got to get things done, you know, homework, eat your dinner, take a shower, get ready for bed, get in bed, like this taskmaster energy. I really want to ease up on that a lot this summer, or even just like not even go there. Even just allow things to be a little bit more loose, allow things to be a little bit more in flow, and not have to control all of the time management quite as much as I do during the summer. So then I asked myself the last question next, which was, what do I want more of? And the first thing that came to me kind of goes hand in hand with the no driving. I wanted to be outside, or I want to be outside more. I want to be in the sunshine more. And I want to intentionally create space in my day or in my week where we spend time outside. The next thing that came to me kind of surprised me, to be honest. I want to bring the girls into my work more. And that doesn't mean that they're going to appear on the podcast or anything, but I want them to sit with me while I edit the video, or I want them to see what it looks like to have all of these things published, or to schedule them, or to arrange my calendar with client meetings, or, what I want to really bring them into what mom does every day. Because honestly, I don't think they really know. When we go through our day, I tell them, oh, I recorded this podcast, or I scheduled podcasts, or I had these calls, or I worked on this website, or I launched an ad or whatever. They don't like, they don't really get it. And that's okay. But this summer, I've got a real opportunity that as I work, I can bring them into that. And it sounds really fun. And the more that I've thought about it, the more I'm like, yeah, actually, I want that. I want to bring them into my work. The other thing that I want more of is this individual time with each of my girls. Really carve out time to do something with just each one of them and have that individual time that we don't, or we haven't had a lot of time for during the school year. Okay. And the last question, which I actually posed to you first in Monday's podcast, was, what do you want summer to feel like? And after I went through what I want less of and what I want more of, what I came to, the very first thing, actually the only thing that came to my mind when I asked myself this question, was a quote by Lao Tzu. Hopefully I said his name right. He's a Chinese philosopher, Lao Tzu. He said, nature does not hurry, yet everything is accomplished. That's what I want my summer to feel like. We do have things to do. We are moving this summer. There are going to be a lot of tasks. We have things to do. I'll have work to do. And I want it to feel like that. We're not in a hurry, and yet everything is accomplished. Everything gets done, and we don't have to rush around about it. We don't have to be frantic about it. We don't have to be urgent or pressure filled about it. We can just get things done in a flow, in a feel good way. So that is what I want my summer to feel like. So practically, so we've done all of this like groundwork. Practically, what this looks like for me is to start making lists. Start making lists about what's important and what I want to do simply because I want to do it. And when I can see these, more bullet point things down on paper, then I can start to set up what I am going to refer to as guidelines. Guidelines for the day and guidelines for the week. I work in weekly rhythms. I love to give myself a set of tasks that I want done during the week. instead of necessarily by the day. And each day I approach that week and divide out what I'll be working on that day. That's how I like to operate. And so I want there to be some daily guidelines of like, of course, I do my morning routine. And of course, I'll have, maybe a time block of work or whatever. But I do also want these weekly guidelines of like, let's get outside 3 times this week. Maybe let's eat outside one night this week. Maybe let's have a fire pit one day this week and see, how that goes. Having these intentional little guidelines for my day, for my week to help create this intentional summer where we're not in a hurry and yet everything is accomplished. So, this has been immensely helpful to me in feeling grounded as I approach my own summer season because really I've taken all of the pressure out of it. I've really taken myself out of this place of needing summer to be efficient and instead putting myself in this place to create what I actually want to experience. And if I hadn't gone through this, I'm really, really sure that I wouldn't have come to that quote by Lao Tzu that will actually probably be my guiding line for this summer, especially because I have a lot of opportunities to hurry. I have a lot of opportunities to feel into pressure and to feel into urgency because we're doing so much, because I run a business, because I manage children, I because we're moving, because there's all of this. I can choose that route of everything has to be ultra efficient and full of pressure and all of this urgency. Or I can lean into this quote by Lao Tzu and know that nature gets a lot done and it's not in a hurry about any of it. So I can approach things that way and I can have that be my aim. And I'm sure I'm going to fall into efficiency and I'm sure I'm going to feel pressure and I'm sure that I'm going to feel hurried and I'm sure I'm going to feel all of those things. And it doesn't have to be my default. And I know I can always redirect back to what I actually want to create. And I can create that now because I have intentionally identified it. That's what I want for you this week and throughout this whole summer shift series. That you not only shift how you are going into summer, the summer transition, but that you shift your mindset and your feelings and your intentions around the kind of summer that you get to create. That's what I have for you today. Thank you so much for joining me. I totally love you. Bye for now.